Okay, so what we're going to go over in this tutorial is how to solve an exponential equation that has two exponential terms. In the previous tutorial, we talked about if there was just one, but now we're going to get into what if we had multiple terms being raised to powers. So the example we're going to take a look at is this one here. So I have 5 to the x plus 2 equals 2 to the 2x minus 1. And I'm going to go through a series of steps. And if you need to pause to, kind of let something sink in, do that. Because there's quite a few steps here. But the good news is if we follow those steps every time, we should be okay. Step 1, what we're going to do is we're going to take the log or the natural log of both sides of the equation. And the reason why we're going to do that is that's going to allow us to bring the powers to the front. One of the properties that we learned previously was that when we have a log, we can bring powers to the front. That's why we learned that property. So what I'm going to end up with here, and I really that's two steps, but I combine it into one. I think we can handle doing that in just one step. So I'm going to get x plus 2 times the log of 5 equals 2x minus 1 times the log of 2. So that's it for step 1. So I took the log of both sides and brought the powers to the front. Now I'm going to move on to step 2. Step 2 is going to be to distribute the log on both sides. So I'm just using distributive property here to multiply to both terms. So what that's going to give me on the left here is it's going to give me x log 5 plus 2 log 5. And if I do the exact same thing on the right side, I'm going to get 2x log 2 minus log 2. Now, at this point, it's an algebra 1 problem because what I'm doing is I'm just solving for x. I'm trying to get x by itself. So in order to do that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get all of the x terms on one side and the terms that don't have an x onto the other side. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to swing my 2x log 2, I'm going to swing that over to the left side. And I'm going to take my 2 log 5 and I'm going to swing that to the right side. So again, the reason I'm doing that is I want anything that has an x, I'm going to move that to the left, and anything that doesn't have an x, I'm going to move it to the right. Again, it's your choice as to what side you put what on. That doesn't really matter. The goal is to just get x's together and get non-x's together. So what that's going to give me is it's going to give me x log 5 minus 2x log 2 equals negative log 2 minus 2 log 5. Now that I have x's on the left and non-x's on the right, what I want to do is I want to try to factor out the x. So I'm going to factor out, notice how on the left-hand side there's an x here and there's an x here. So what I'm able to do is I'm able to factor that out, and that's going to leave me with log 5 minus 2 log 2. And nothing has changed on the right. Now, if you're wondering, well, what was the point of doing that? Well, the point of doing that is by factoring, now I have the x completely by itself. I only see one x, and now I'm going to be able to go ahead and get that by itself. So what I'm going to do is, since the x and the log 5 minus 2 log 2, since those two things are being multiplied, I'm going to be able to divide both sides by that whole piece in order to get x by itself. So I'm going to end up with x equals negative log 2 minus 2 log 5 all over log 5 minus 2 log 2. Now it's going to be pretty ugly, as you can see here. I've got a pretty nasty looking fraction here. So we are going to use the calculator to do this. So I'm going to bring the calculator into view here, and let's see what we end up with. Okay. So what I'll try to do is try to get it so that you can see kind of what I'm putting in here. Here we go. So one thing that I want to make sure that I do when I'm putting in the calculator is I want to make sure that I have parentheses around the whole top and around the whole denominator. I want to make sure that I do that. If I don't, I'm going to get the wrong answer here. So what I'm going to have is I'm going to have negative log 2 minus 2 log 5, double parenthesis to close that out. And then on the bottom, I'm going to have, oh, you know what? I just realized a little typo there. I forgot to put the log 5 there. My apologies. Log 5. Sorry about that. So I have divided by log 5 minus 2 log 2. So I'm just entering it into the calculator exactly as I have it written down on screen there. Hit enter. So my answer here is x equals negative 17.531. X equals negative 17.531. And that's it. So I think in terms of exponential equations, this is about as difficult as you're going to find because there's quite a few steps, there's quite a bit of algebra in terms of distributing, combining like terms, and so on. So you've got to take your time, you've got to be careful. My advice is make sure you kind of systematically go through these steps, follow them every time, and you should get all of these correct. So I hope